Hey guys, I'm Pat Kelly. Okay, in this problem, we're going to find another probability. In this case, the experiment is a six-sided die being rolled twice. They're asking us for the probability that the sum of the result there would be 6 in total. Okay, so a good place to start when you're trying to find a probability is to set up your fraction, the probability of any event that you're looking for will equal a fraction where the numerator is the number of ways you can get that result, and the denominator is the total number of ways the experiment could play itself out, so the size of your sample space, right? So then what we want to do for any one of these problems is go in and find the value for each of those pieces of the fraction. So let me slide over here, and let's try to get a handle on our E. The event that we want to happen is that the sum of the die, the dice, when you roll two of them, is 6. Okay, so how can that happen? One way that it could happen is I could get a 1 on the first die and then a 5 on the second die. Okay, and I'm going to get kind of colorful here, and I have a reason. So that's one possible win for us, a 1 on the first die and a 5 on the second die. How else might we win? We could win if we get a 2 on the first die and a 4 on the second die. Okay, let me keep going. How else could we win? We could get a 3 on the first die and a 3 on the second die. All right, comma. I'm going to slide down here. This is still part of the same set, but now I'm thinking of a 4 on the first die and a 2 on the second die. Here's the reason I'm doing so much color coding, is because this is an easy mistake I don't want you to make. These two guys right here are different possibilities. I know they're both 4 and a 2, but it's a different count that we have to make for the 2 occurring on the orange die and the 4 occurring on the pink die versus the 4 on the orange die and the 2 on the pink die. Okay, so you don't want to overlook either one of those. Okay, so then I'll try to finish up, because the last one for me in this problem is the 1 and the 5 could be the other die gets the 5 and the other die gets the 1. So I could get a 5 on the first die, the orange die, and a 1 on the pink die. And then I'll try to wrap everything up in yellow so you can see, if I put my curly braces, you can see this set of all possible ways that I could win. All right? And now my N of E is the total number of ways that I could win, and you just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My N of E is 5. I'm almost done with my problem. If I look back at my fraction, I have the numerator. All I need is the denominator. So I'll just do a little bit more work for N of S, and that's the size of your sample space. In this case, my experiment is rolling the six-sided die twice. Our fundamental counting principle just says to multiply the two different possibilities here. When you roll the first die, there are 6 possibilities. You roll the second die, there are 6 possibilities. You multiply in between, and we get a 36. Which means now I'm ready for my final answer up here. Fill in this fraction. N of E was 5 in the numerator. N of S in the denominator is my 36. And I'm done. If I could simplify that fraction, reduce it, I would. I can't, so it's my final answer. Okay? Hope that helps, but make sure you practice more on your own.